Okay guys, real quick video. Sorry that it's in my room here under these lighting conditions, but it's about what I've got at the moment. This is a video demonstrating the Snib mouse. Now, just to get that right out there, this is to help you open a night latch which has been put on the Snib. If you guys don't know what the Snib is, if you're new, the Snib is what we call this piece here. So as you see, the latch operates, and when this button is on, it's locked. Now, if this lock was mounted the other way or certain ones and the door gets slammed, that button can end up getting set on. And if that happens, then your keys on this side no longer work. It's locked. So that's what we're trying to get around here today. There is other methods which involve quite a bit of destruction, so we don't want to go down that route. We'll use this to make a nice clean hole, and even after using this, we can reuse the night latch on the back. There's no damage to it essentially for its function. We just replace the cylinder up the front. So I'm going to keep spinning this jig round to show you as we go along, and hopefully give you a bit of a better view. And I will hopefully make a cut down video of just the key features here for the shorter. But if you're watching this one, you're in for the long haul. So hopefully we don't wobble the table around too much, and this vise will withstand some drilling. Starters, you're going to need yourself a 6mm hard plate drill bit. Most of us are having those for the general purpose anyway, for locksmithing. So good start. We made it to suit the 6mm. Okay. Here we do have a P89. I have got the Snib turned on there now, and I don't have the key to this lock. That's why we're drilling it and can scrap it. But if I did have the keys, you would notice that the key doesn't actually turn this lock anymore with that button being on. Typically, if possible, if you were at this situation and there was a letterbox, you would reach through the letterbox and disable the button on the inside, and then proceed to use the customer's key. Now, this is obviously if you don't have a letterbox and there's no other access to that latch and no other access to the property, then we need to get through this lock. So hopefully I tightened that up enough. It's hopefully not teaching you to suck eggs here, but we call it Mickey Mousing the cylinder, and that's where the thing actually gets its name from, the Snib mouse, because half of its function is to help you Mickey Mouse the cylinder as well. So that's not difficult to do. You know, it's got its name. We make the Mickey Mouse's face on the front. It's not exactly spot on, you know, if you're not too sure how high or low to go with it. We're going to use this to find out. Now, see if I can get right behind the camera. We use this with the logo facing towards the lock, and we can line up the plug through this hole here. If I get right behind it, like so, we make sure it's straight up and down compared to the lock. Line it up over the cylinder, and our aim here is to just use this like a template. So we'll go in with the drill and just mark the cylinder. Okay. We have one, and then we'll go and do the other side as well. Okay, so now we've got two marks on there, and we're going to just carry on drilling through the front of the cylinder here and hopefully get to the fixing screws. And hopefully I'll speed this part of the video up for you guys as well. Okay, so now we have two evenly spaced holes. If we want to make sure we got it in the right place, we can just hold that up and check that again. Pretty spot on. And we've got 2 holes in the front. We should be able to see the tip ends of the screws now facing us, and we've got to carry on drilling down those screws, and that's going to be the harder part of this whole operation, unfortunately, is to try and drill straight down 2 screws until, I've got a cylinder, the screws, until we reach this part here. We'll drill straight through, take the threads off, and the whole cylinder will come out of the front. So we will attempt to do that here. Okay, large noise there. We may have got that one done. We'll come over to this side and check this one. Right, big bang's about usually how it goes. We have taken out the entire cylinder. Now, not the cleanest of Mickey Mouses that I've done, but as you can see, dropped it. We've gone right through the back one there. This one went a bit off, but we got that out. So now, let me just rotate this around a little bit, and hopefully you can see. A fair bit of mess on my workbench here, but that's okay. Loosening the wrong thing, there we go. All right, try and get a bit of this dust out. Don't have the option, unfortunately, to do that with a door and tip it up, but there we go. So that's what we're looking at inside. At this point, you'll be able to identify what lock we're dealing with pretty clearly by looking at the where the follower, where the tailpiece goes in. And of course, we've got those we've got the screws rattling around in there. They're now no longer holding on to anything. Right, so that out of the way, what we'll do then is take our Snib mouse, and we had it this way originally, so we'll flip it around, and then we want to turn it with the logo facing where the latch would be. And what that now enables us to do is use this angled hole which runs through to get where we need to be for the actual snib in the lock. And just to test the handle, we are still locked. So I'm going to angle it this way a little bit for me now, so that I can get the drill at the right place. Okay, tighten that up a bit. I might need to angle or change that angle again. That just drops in there like that. And we'll take the same drill bit. If your drill bit's not long enough, obviously back it out a little bit and move it along in the chuck. Like that. And then we can hold it with the dots top and bottom and proceed to drill through the wood into the latch. Okay, so at this point I've hit the latch case, and if you want you can keep the jig in there, but at this point, if we also wanted, we can take this out and follow through the hole of the wood. The wood will actually hold the drill at the right angle. Bit, make sure it's tight, make sure the hole's clear. Okay, there we go. All the way through, you'll feel the drill jolt forwards just like that. And all that's left for us to do is to take an awl, hopefully this one's long enough, and we're going to reach through and manipulate the button from the inside of the case. Now, we remember this one, the button went up for it to activate, so we're going to try and go in and pull it down. Okay, the moment of truth, and as we can see, the snib is still on. What we would initially do is use a flat screwdriver to attempt to open this lock, but it won't open at the moment with the snib. So in we go, and then we can try and now open the lock, and the lock is now open. So just rotate this around a little bit so that we can see the latch. There we go. Tighten that off again. Okay, now I'm going to press the snib back on. And again, if we've taken the cylinder out at this point, we can try the screwdriver. Oops, sorry. And we cannot open. And neither with the key, just like that. Again, we'll take our awl in the lock all the way to the back, stab in and pull down. Obviously, if the lock was on the other side, we would stab in and lever it upwards. And now we can take our screwdriver and proceed to open the lock. There we go. Now we're going to quickly take this lock off of the back of here and have a look exactly what's happened inside and what we're doing in there as well, and also just to show that this lock can be used again. Okay, so we'll tighten that up, and just for quickness I'm going to use the drill to take the screws out. Don't lose these damn little screws, they're like gold dust. Okay, whoa, case pops off, obviously. Bunch of stuff going everywhere. And here we have a case with a hole. Now this little ridge is found on the P89 on the back of the case. It's quite useful for actually letting your drill bit land in the corner there to press against. Obviously my drill bit has wandered upwards a little bit. That could have been down to me perhaps not having the jig straight when I went through initially, or maybe I should have kept the jig on there as I continued to drill through. This jig, by the way, is made out of a very hard steel, so you're not going to damage it by drilling through here quite often, but for how often we do use this for this particular job, that's going to last you many, many years. Okay, so the lock case itself, let's take these screws out from the back. You can see here that we've made this hole in the back, and if I can rotate this around as well, we will also see the carnage that we've done here. Again, with a little flat file, we can take this burr off, and this is just fine to be used again. These screws obviously for the bin. And let's just take the back of this case off, then we can have a look. Sorry, try and keep it in shot. Okay, screws out. And here we go, this is the back of a P89 night latch. As we see here, the lock is functioning. When the snib is operated, this whole thing slides up and blocks the bolt from coming back. And it slipped because the case is not on. There we go. So what we're doing here, when we come through with the awl on this angle, we're stabbing it into this plastic piece here and sliding it down. Now for the 40mm version of this night latch, it also used the same jig to do it. As we come in from this particular lock, we're stabbing it quite up the front here. From the 40mm, it's just going to be stabbing it somewhere near the back here. You will ultimately still find that piece of plastic to pull down with the adjusted spacing. But that's about it. We can now put the case, clean it up with a file. You don't want to leave the nasty burr in the lock. and put this block back together, replace the cylinder and put its puller back on. There's no damage to the front of the lock, for the front of the door here at all. A new cylinder will go back on and you'll never know. Of course you can replace the latch if you'd like, if you're trying to get a job from it, but there's no need to do it. So that's it. Hope you guys enjoyed it, and you go and pick one of these up. I will leave a link in the description of this video. You'll find it elsewhere. Also, you can just message me as well and ask about it. And yeah, that's it. Thank you for buying.